Hi, I'm Kent Boyd with the University of Minnesota Extension. I'm a registered nurse who helps Minnesotans adapt to climate change. Today I'm going to talk to you about ways to stay safe during poor air quality events indoors by using these. These are do-it-yourself air purifiers. This is a Corsi-Rosenthal box. It's particularly good in larger spaces such as a classroom or living room. This is the one fan, one filter model, and it's particularly good for smaller rooms such as a bedroom. We're going to start with the one fan, one filter model because it's the cheapest and easiest to put together. So what you need is one fan, one filter. This can be a MERV 13 Plus filter, a 1-inch or a 4-inch option. You're going to put it on the back of the fan, and then you're going to attach it. You can attach it with clips like this that you can get from your local hardware store or online. You can bungee cord it to the fan, or you can tape it and seal off the seams, which is one of the more effective ways to do this. Using the clip, we attach the filter to the fan, like so, on one side, and repeat that process on the other side. And voila, you have your first air purifier. For the Corsi-Rosenthal box, you'll need 4 filters. These should be MERV 13 Plus or MPR 1900 or higher. That's just the rating system on the filtration of those filters. You'll need 1 fan and the box that it comes in, a pair of scissors, and a roll of duct tape. And this should take about 45 minutes to an hour. So we're going to start by putting the filters together in a cube. There are a couple of important pieces to remember while we're doing this. First is you want your filter to be vertical. This helps with the efficacy of the filter. And the second is that you want your arrows for the airflow pointing in toward the inside of your cube. So you'll see you have an edge to an end and an edge to an end, and that alternates around the cube, making it symmetrical. Now that you have your cube, let's tape it together. A strategy that I use is take the tape, roughly measure across the width of the cube, and then duct tape is nice because it tears really easily. From there, you'll begin to tape your seam. And so I like to start at the bottom so you don't capture much hair or other debris on the carpet, and feed it all the way up the top. And you can take the next filter and place it right along, sealing off that seam and connecting the 2 filters. And then to get rid of this excess tape, tearing it, feeding it down the back and along the front. And there you go. And now you have your first taped seam. This should be enough to close that seam off. You can certainly add more if you want, but it's not necessary. And now we'll build the other sides. As we put this last one on, we're just remembering that the arrow for airflow is pointing inward toward the cube, and we're maintaining that alternating pattern edge to end, just like so. Now we have our cube. Let's seal off the bottom using the cardboard from the box that the fan came in. So now we have our cardboard piece from the box of the fan. It should be a pretty good fit with only 1 cut needed. When you're constructing this part, there isn't a top or bottom until you make the top or bottom. And you're doing the same thing. So taking your duct tape and sealing off the edges where the bottom cardboard meets the cube of filters. Now you've attached your bottom. Let's attach the fan to the top. And it's the same idea. We're going to attach the fan on all 4 sides to the top of our forming cube. There are a couple of stress points, however. First, you want to make sure that the plug-in cord is outside of the cube, and all of these holes along here will eventually be covered by tape. We want everything to be closed off, all seams and holes, because we don't want any of the bad air to go into the fan and come out. We want everything to go through the filters and be purified. Let's tape it up. So when taping the box fan to the filters, I like to start on the sides that don't have any obstacles. And this helps because you can center the fan on the box without having to deal with maneuvering around things. Like so, and if you have some remnants, you can start to peel that over, but we'll cover the corners later after we get the fan attached fully. When taping the front, it's not too bad. You just want to ensure that you don't obstruct the nozzle for the fan speed. The back side is a little more tricky because you have the legs of the fan and you also have the power cord coming out. So I like to start along the filter first, and then you can kind of peel it up and over to just secure the fan. And then oftentimes on the back, I'll do at least one more row of tape. And then if you want, you can add just a little piece by the power strip and really hug it around that to seal that off as well, because remember that's open into the inside of the fan. And now we're gonna seal off these corners. And it's really easy, just take a little bit of tape and you pinch it into the corner like so, folding it over. It doesn't need to look pretty, it just needs to work. And we're gonna do one more little piece on this corner to completely seal it off. And do that for all corners. Next, we're gonna add the shroud to the top of the fan using the cardboard from the box that the fan came in. So the first part of cutting out the shroud is to cut out the center of your cardboard, and then you'll trace later to make sure it fits the top of the fan. Using the LASCO fan, which is recommended, the diameter of the shroud should be 15 inches. If you're using a mainstay fan, 20-inch fan, the recommended shroud hole is 16 inches. One way to do this is with a string and pencil, measuring the radius of the circle and creating your circle. But once you've done it once, you can keep the cardboard and have a template. It doesn't need to be exactly centered, and you can eyeball it, and then you just trace around, creating your circle for the shroud, like so. The important part of the shroud is this outside piece, so only cut out the center circle. Here's where a box cutter might be useful, but you can always use scissors as well. And now you have your shroud. The shroud increases efficacy of the Corsi-Rosenthal box by blocking air coming through the top of the fan. And now we're going to attach the shroud to the fan. A trick that I've learned for the corners is to tear the tape in at least 3 sections like so, and then fold down, and that helps form your corner a bit better and seal off that seam. And this is the final Corsi-Rosenthal box. A Corsi-Rosenthal box will last you about 6 to 12 months depending on how often you use it. Another way to determine is to look at the filters and see if they're getting dirty or not. Now we're going to test it using these air particle sensors. I'm going to place one at the intake, which is measuring the pore air quality or the air quality of this room, and one at the output, which measures the filtered air coming out of the Corsi-Rosenthal box. You can see that the concentration of particulate matter going into the filter is higher than that that's coming out of the Corsi-Rosenthal box, meaning that we're supplying this room with cleaner air, and relatively quickly. Thanks for joining us while we built one of the Corsi-Rosenthal boxes and learned how you can protect yourself during poor air quality events. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at climate.umn.edu.